What up? Welcome back, everyone, to the Sarkanaverse. It is episode 2. My name is Sarkana, and today, well, I need iron. I always need iron. I'm currently out of iron. All of my upcoming projects need a lot of iron, so yeah, we're building an iron farm, people! Now, before we get going on that iron farm, there's probably a couple of things I should catch you up on. If you've watched episode 1, you'll probably notice that this area has a lot more going on now. And that is because in the last episode, while I was busy working on the creeper killer, Torgwen was hard at work here back at base, making so many crop farms to the point where they don't even load in all at once if you're far away enough. Torgwen and I have this little niche where we actually like to collect our crops manually. There's just something outright therapeutic to swinging your tools around every which way and gathering as much crops as possible. It's just everything else about farming that sucks. When it comes to replanting said crops, we can't be bothered with that. That's why we got huts all along here, because we're eventually going to be moving in some villagers to do all of that crap for us. Not to mention that once you actually do have all of your crops, well, you gotta put it somewhere, don't you? And with that being said, I think it's time we show you the inside of our future windmill, full of gadgets that make the farming life easier. Now, before we get going too far, I would also like to show my support for other content creators within the Minecraft community and give credit where credit is due, which is why, from this point forward in my series, any and all devices that are shown within my base will be accompanied with its original designer at the bottom of the screen, with a link to their channel in the description below. First and foremost on the list of cool crap designed by other people that just need to go into our base is this nifty Shulker Box Unloader. There are plenty of designs out on YouTube for something just like this. However, we went with the design by SuperLaggy, and the reason why I chose this design is because, as you can see, it is a very compact build. You only need a 4x7x4 space to build one of these things, and again, link in the description below if you want one of these things in your base. While you can attach this to any item sorter, we specifically wanted this for our farming. As you can see, we have plenty of empty shulker boxes, aka farming baskets. So what you do, you take one of these, you head outside into the farms, you put down the farming basket, you take your pretty little hoe that your friend crafted for you, go absolutely ham on all of your crops. You replant everything because you don't have villagers to do this yet. You put everything into the farming basket. You take that farming basket and you put it into the chest clearly labeled full farming baskets. Put it in there, and the machine does the rest. Once it's all done, shapow! The piston will push the shulker box into the empty farming baskets, and you're good to go. This Shulker Box Unloader seriously makes the farming life so much simpler. I cannot recommend it enough. Next thing on the list is designed by Rouge Fox, which is a cow cooker. This is another simple and straightforward build that everyone needs in their base because it is a fine source of meat and leather. As stated before, this is a design by Rouge Fox. However, there are a couple of tweaks to the design that I personally would recommend. The first tweak that I made was that actually this bottom layer in his design is glass. I would recommend using slabs. That way all you really need is a few cows from up top, and then you can just spam click down here to get all the cows that you need. And obviously, if you want to be really efficient with this thing, you get yourself a sword with looting 3 and fire aspect 2, and then you can kill the cows yourself. That way you get plenty of meat and leather from every single cow. If you're really in a hurry, you can just insta-fry them. On the backside of this thing, I made a couple of more tweaks, mainly due to space limitation, but also so that I don't accidentally fall through the top, is that I made the feeder right here with the lever that triggers the water right there. moving away from the cow cooker, over here we have a containment of sheep. We're going to be turning it into an automated sheep shearing station. Hoppers, shears, iron. I need iron. Across from the sheep, we have a chicken cooker. This is another design from Rouge Fox, and I made no deviations or alterations of this one. This one's just good as is. And this is why. As you can see, each unit is only 1 wide with very simple redstone. All you need is 1 block in between each unit, and you can stack these things as much as you want. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the work of Torgwen here. She did a fantastic job of decorating this place. I just absolutely love these, what is that, sconces? I guess? Yeah, sconces. I like the word sconces. We're gonna run with that. And now I think it's time that I show you the underbelly to this whole farming operation. Down here in the basement, we have multiple item sorters, one for all of the crops and their seeds, with the overflow protection, of course, as well as on the chicken. We do not have one for cows yet because iron. And anyone who's been playing Minecraft for long enough will probably recognize this design. It is from ImpulseSV. It is universal between both Bedrock and Java Edition. It is a tested and true auto sorting system. I cannot recommend it enough. It is worth noting, however, that there are actually Bedrock exclusive designs that you can use for an auto sorting system. They evidently are more reliable, however, I have yet to encounter a sorting error from this design. With that being said, however, there are a couple of recommendations I would like to make, regardless of which design you end up going with. First and foremost is that whichever block you decide to use to filter out your items, I would highly recommend using an anvil to completely rename the blocks, making them their own unique item, severely reducing the chance of you accidentally sorting the wrong item and breaking your machine. The next thing I would like to point out is that you can in fact sort 16 stackable items such as eggs. However, it is worth noting that because 16 stackable items give much more of a redstone charge for less, I would highly recommend making sure that you have a filter space in between each 16 stackable item, including from each other. If you would like to sort out 16 stackable items, make sure that you got yourself another 16 stackable item, rename them with an anvil, and then lay them out exactly in this formation that you see here in your control hopper. And the reason why I recommend doing the filter space is because as soon as this hits 3 eggs, the redstone charge will start bleeding out into the other modules, draining out their filter blocks. And yes, I had to learn that one the hard way. In fact, I no longer have eggs in our auto sorting system. We used to actually have one of the modules of the chicken cooker up top simply laying eggs and coming down here. However, that very quickly got backed up, and that's when I discovered that problem, which is why I recommend doing a filter space in between your 16 stackable items. However, I noticed that we weren't really getting as much food as I would have liked, so I instead just turned it into another cooker. So for now, I have elected to go ahead and change the spot for eggs into an overflow protection. If I find that we do need more eggs, I could easily build another egg catch. However, we do have 3.5 double chests worth of eggs, and that should be plenty for when we want to go ahead and get villagers in here and start selling these things off for emerald.
Well, so much for that!
One more thing to mention about our farming operation is that its main purpose is to finance our trading operation, which we will be installing with specific trades on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor of our tower, which looks a little something like this. As you can see, each of these floors is just ripe with potential. Already I can picture where all of the villagers are going to be going in their containment stalls, I mean personal spaces, and this is going to look very nice. And in this portion of the windmill that Torgwen built rather recently simply because it would look cool but really has no idea what to do with it, I figured we could also put more villaging trading stations just for the general odds and ends, and maybe for something that other people could come by and use. And that concludes the tour of this portion of our base. Now it's time that we move on to the main part of this video, which... Have I mentioned yet that I need iron? Now I think it's no big secret that in order to get an iron farm going in Minecraft, no matter which edition you play, that you need villagers. Which is exactly why I built this villager breeder right here. This is slightly north from my garage, and this is a design from Silentwisperer. Now there are just a few things I would like to note about this build real quick is that firstly, I built this thing live over at twitch.tv/Sarkana. That link will also be in the description below. The next thing to mention about this villager breeder is that it is a significantly smaller version than the one he built in his tutorial. He went with the more industrial size. I only needed the 2 cells. But looking back at it, I really should have only built the one because in one of his more recent bug rock episodes, he goes into great detail about a current bug introduced with another update involving hoppers and water lines just like this, about how it matters which direction the items are flowing in order for the hoppers to pick them up. Evidently, the same thing applies to these guys. This direction is north, and if we throw down a potato, they capture them, no problem. These guys, however, are a little more reluctant because the flow is going south. So if you want to build a villager breeder in a similar fashion with the water line feeding tubes, use a map and pay attention to which direction the water is flowing. And you undoubtedly noticed that the villager baby catcher was feeding directly into the nether. Here on the nether side, we have our villager dispenser. One thing that I had to learn the hard way while I was live is that, as you can see, these guys are plains villagers, even though I was using savanna villagers. And that's because evidently the type of villager you get is dependent on where you breed them, not what kind of villager you use. And in the texture pack that Torgwen and I use, the savanna villagers kind of look like elves. Well, he's being a little camera shy right now. However, the closest savanna village was way down that way. And so I wanted to bring them a little bit closer, and then they gave me plains villagers. But that is fine because these guys are not going to be seen anyway in our iron farm, and I'm going to need about 40 of them due to the fact that I'm going to be building 2 modules, and yeah, I think I have 40. Now there are a couple of reasons why it is a good idea to send your baby villagers straight to Minecraft hell, and the main reason is because that when they grow up, they have 0 chance of locking in on a job block or a bed. And the second reason is so that I can instill into their brains that
If they step out of line, I can send them back from whence they came.
I did build another villager dispenser with the elves that we wanted, by the way. And with that, we are just about ready to get going with this iron farm. The only thing that I need now is more concrete because I do plan on using the same aesthetic as I did with the fully functioning firework factory. And so with that, to the pounder room, let's go! Now, hopefully we don't make a repeat of last episode, and I truly do hope that this is enough concrete for what we need to do. We are now at the future site of the iron farm, which is of course going to be above us. The AFK platform is actually going to be at the same Y level as the factory down that way. And as you can see, I also have a chunk border resource pack on because it is very important that you do something like this chunk aligned. And with that out of the way, you'll know what it's time for. Start the time lapse. Alrighty, we are now about halfway done with both of the modules. As you can see, we are on the topmost module, and I have completely idiot-proofed this place because it's time to start moving villagers. And of course, I do have to point out that this is yet another Silentwisperer design. This is actually his most current iron farm iteration, which is ready for 1.16. And every block of netherrack that you see here is of course 100% temporary. This is to make sure that they can't hop out of here, fall down the kill chamber, and I have this set up so that hopefully that they will walk right through this nether portal and right into the minecart. This is to ensure that their freedom, I mean danger from hostile mobs, is kept to a minimum. Behind me we have some cells, I mean sanctuaries, that I will be immediately hauling them into. And as you can see, we have a total of 3 sanctuaries that I will be moving them into, and there's going to be exactly 20 villagers moving in, so the numbers will be 8, 4, and 8 villagers. And there's no more delay in it. Let's move them up. All right, come on, ya idiot. Alrighty, dum-dum, I guess we're starting with you. Don't you at me. Don't either. You like how I gave you some headspace there? Yeah, I'm a fair and just king. Oh, shut up. You cool there for a second? Okay, cool. Alright, your turn, idiot. Alrighty. Come on, get in the portal. Alright, that's 1. And 2. Please work. Oh, come on. Go on now. You forced my hand. Go on now. Get. He's in. And that one's in. And now I only have to do that 38 more times. I am legitimately shocked that this is working. Thankfully, magma cubes, for whatever reason, cannot hurt villagers. Oh, but he's definitely after me now. Okay, come on. I mean, seriously, how is this actually working? Come on. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go, fool. Wow, I'm not gonna lie, that went way easier than expected. I mean, I have had several trial and error moments with these guys over my Minecraft career, so I would like to attribute that I do know how to move them. I do know how to make them do what I want. However, you should always expect the worst. And now I have to do it again down here. And they're in. It is now actually the next day for me, because as soon as I got all 40 of these villagers in, it was 4 in the morning. I had to go to bed. And with that, it is just about time to go ahead and start installing these beds. I did also bring some raw fish with me, because as soon as I start doing that, the cats are going to start spawning, and I do care about what happens to them. If I need string, I will find another method. I clearly care more about them than I do these villagers. 3 blocks up, build the platform, make it double wide, start with the center bed that is a different color from the rest they have linked, and start putting in the rest. Remove the platform under the beds, make the cats love me. This little one's being a little reluctant. Got them. Breed them up to fill up the cat limit. Put them down here so they won't get hurt. Then do it all again on the lower platform. Alrighty, all villagers in place, all beds in place. All the cats are safe and secure underneath each of the farms. And now it's time to go ahead and start putting in some job blocks. After which I will be installing another platform above each module to get a secondary iron golem catch. However, I'm going to be doing that last so that I can start getting iron as soon as possible. Alrighty, which one of you guys wants this? You. Easy. Easy. Chapow. Next. Over there again. Wait. Literally as soon as I put down the last job block, we got an iron golem. This thing works amazingly. Make that 2. Yeah, I might want to go ahead and get this going before it gets too overwhelming up there. And thank you for your service. Yep. Use red glass because it matches the aesthetic of the firework factory, and I think it looks cooler than slabs. And finally, use ice because it's way more easier than buckets. I obviously still have a little bit left to do, but we officially have an iron farm. And once more again, with feeling. And we are done. Alrighty, as you can see, both modules are now active. They both have the red glass to make sure nothing spawns where we don't want them to. And really, the only thing left to do here is to install the secondary iron golem catches. And just while I'm working on this thing, I already have just shy of 2.5 stacks of iron. Do I even need the secondary catches? Probably not, but I'm going to anyway. And with that, our iron farm is now 100% done. I can always add more modules if I want later. However, for now, this will do. It may seem like the central platform is a little bit uneven from the other two, but that's because it is. However, I can guarantee you that this AFK platform is exactly 40 blocks in between both the upper and the lower modules. And by modules, I mean their center beds. And with that, everyone, you know what we gotta do from here. Let's go ahead and wait for this guy to die while we clear out the top module. Oh my, so much iron already. And the bottom module, we already have over a stack of blocked iron just from working on this thing. But anyway, we still gotta do this. Alrighty, everyone, we are 1 hour later. Let's check out the top module first. And of course, let's check out the top chest first. Alright, 29 so far. Let's see here. Ho 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 ho. Yes, yes, yes. And the bottom module. Oh, that's always a good sign. All right, let's check the top chest first. Yes, 39. And yes, 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 yes. I mean, just look at that. That's 10 stacks plus 4. That's 644 iron in 1 hour. To the Java players watching this, that may not seem like a whole lot, but to us Bedrock players, 1.16 was a godsend when it comes to our mob farms. Now, it is worth noting that one of these modules reportedly does 420 iron per hour, which means that at the 644 with 2 modules, instead of doubling the iron, it really does more, just 1.5. Still, I'll take it. And if you had this much iron on you, what would you do with all of your riches? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, everyone, I do have to wrap this episode up. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video, and if you enjoyed it, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, while you're at it, please do go follow me over at twitch.tv/Sarkana. I am live every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, starting at 7 p.m. And until next time, deuces.